Well, good morning. It's National Arbor Day here in the United States, and that's a very special day for me personally. I worked as an arborist for 10 years, as I've mentioned in previous videos, and I was a card-carrying member of the International Society of Arboriculture. So it's a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. To this day, I enjoy, for the most part, caring for trees, planting trees, trimming trees, and those sorts of things. So anyway, to commemorate today's occasion, we will be planting a couple trees, and we'll be trimming one very special tree, and there's probably going to be some other surprise activities involved too. It's a nice morning. It's supposed to get pretty hot. I'm sure by the end of the day I'm going to be exhausted, so the sooner we get started the better. So yeah, let's get going. Old spade shovel here, standard equipment, long pointed spade, round pointed spade, Ames tools, an old US brand, really good tool. The hose. Hose are a really underutilized tool by today's typical homeowner. Hose used to be a very important tool in this country, and it still is with some people, but homeowners tend to underappreciate the hose. This is an Italian brand, Bellotto. I got it from easydigging.com. Got this one from easydigging.com too. I think it's an English brand. Yeah, made in England, Chillington. Yeah, if I was the head of a startup and I was naming a line of hardworking tools, I probably wouldn't name it Chillington. But anyway, this is Chillington. If you want an American-made hoe, you can go to Rogue Hose, R-O-G-U-E. They make great hose. This is one of my best tools right here, the Felco pruners, a beautifully crafted, engineered, enduring tool, about $35. They've made this for decades, and all the parts are replaceable on it. They can be sharpened, and it's really a lifetime tool. You should get yourself a pair of Felcos if you're going to get hand pruners. Tin snips are handy for the gopher wire. These are Wiss. This is probably the foremost name in tin snips in this country, Wiss. Chainsaw's just hanging around just in case I get attacked by a turkey or something. And then I got the Silky Zubaz, the Japanese-made arborist saw. Like all arborist saws and all Japanese saws, whether they're carpentry or whatever the purpose, it works on the pull principle, which is really superior to pushing in my book. The reason I have the pruners and the saws is whenever you're planting a tree, it's oftentimes the case that after you plant it, you do a little trimming up. So we're ready to plant and we're ready to trim. Let's meet the trees. So flanking the well house, this is not an outhouse, it's actually a well house. And flanking it in these two black tree bags are some dwarfed lemon trees. And they are not doing too well. They've had a hard winter up here in our subalpine climate. Both of these trees used to live in civilization. One lived on our little condo balcony and the other one in my mother's backyard back in the Bay Area. And they've been moved around a lot. They've never had a permanent home. They need to get in the ground. They've always been potted, and they've been attacked by the deer recently, and they've had a rough winter. I should have wrapped it in burlap and maybe some clear plastic cloth or clear plastic to give them a little bit of a greenhouse effect, because the wind that comes up out of this valley here is very strong and cold. And at any rate, so these are the honorees. We are going to put these guys in the ground today for Arbor Day. So let's talk about the planting location real quick. I'm facing more or less west, which means these trees are facing south. This is going to be really good. They're going to get lots of sun here, and they're going to be on the lee side of this little area here, so they'll be protected from the winds that come out of the west over the ridge, the winds that really ravaged them this winter. So this is the spot. It'll be really good for the seating area too. They're dwarfed. They won't get really big, but they'll provide a little privacy and some blossoms and sweet aroma and fruit during the course of the summer. So this is where we're going to plant them. I made this retaining wall using the same principles that I used for the water tank project, if you want to check out that video. Basically, it's copper coated, waterproof plywood and stakes. They've been driven in, it's been backfilled. Over time, any heavy earth that I excavate, I'll backfill on the front side here so it doesn't start leaning over. And then that will eventually be planted also with something, I don't know. This guy here is a little pilot hole stake that I use before I drive the wooden stakes in. It makes it a lot easier. So it's just a big hunk of steel that's been cut and pointed and is a little bit smaller than the wood stakes. So it makes a nice snug pilot hole. So I'm sitting here getting ready to plant the trees. In other words, I'm procrastinating. It's already getting pretty hot here and not looking forward to digging 2 holes, but we're committed to this course of action. I did want to mention that one of the trees I will dedicate to my beautiful, hardworking older sister Maggie, and the other one I am dedicating to my handsome and talented brother Richard. Earlier, we've planted trees on the property that were dedicated to my mother and father, and in our family, we do everything by seniority. So in future videos and future Arbor Days, we'll be dedicating plants to my beautiful younger baby sister, Micheline, and various other family members. So anyway, it's very apropos because tomorrow is my dad's birthday also. So it's, you know, this day is very important to me, and so I'm very happy to be able to plant trees in honor of family members. So, all right, I guess I better get started on those holes. Well, I had to make a determination how deep the hole had to be. And so examine the root development, and the roots go right to here. And as you guys know from previous videos, this is the root crown. This should be at grade. It should not be buried below grade. So that measurement is about 1 foot. So we'll dig our hole 1 foot. So now get that a little deeper, get some gopher wire in there. Well, looky there. As you might suspect, that is a pocket gopher hole, and the exact reason why we're putting gopher wire in everything that we plant. So the root ball will be enclosed in a gopher cage that we will make. This is a good quality hole. planting hole. It's substantially larger in diameter than the lemon tree, and it's more than deep enough. Yeah. Shovel's flat on the ground. So yeah, we're put some good quality potting soil down in here, the Happy Hippie, and some gopher wire, and then put the tree in. So I've decided to orient the tree more or less this way. It's more aesthetic than anything else. You can make arguments that the stronger side of the tree should be on the shadier side, and you want the weaker growth to have more sun exposure. This is going to be a dwarf tree. It's going to be miniaturized. None of those things are going to really come into play. Gopher wire, you have to make sure that we leave enough to return to the tree trunk, because in the dog days of summer, when their food supply is dwindling, the gophers will come up and actually try to get back into the gopher cage. So we have to make sure that it's very tightly wrapped. Found that out the hard way. So far we're doing pretty good. Well, I'm in a bit of a conundrum here. Went in chronological order, eldest first. So that tree was dedicated to my sister, and this one to my brother, but now I'm noticing this one has more foliage, better color. It's even got some blossoms on it and everything, so not sure what to do here. Holy schist. Well, each time you do something, you learn a little bit and you get better at it. With the planting, I've noticed that everything on this land is sloped. So on the uphill side, I've started leaving a little depression here so I can water right here. And it tends to really fill up the planting hole. If I didn't do that and I just started watering, a lot of the water just runs off sheets and goes downhill. And so soil and subsoil here is very good for retaining water, which is great in this climate. So by leaving that little area there, I can use that as my fill reservoir, and then through diffusion and osmosis it moisturizes the rest of the water in the hole. There's a lot of dieback on this tree as well. So you cut into the stem and you're looking for green, healthy tissue. And if you're not getting that, you can just keep cutting back. And I'm getting some green in here, and some signs of activity, transport of water in the sapwood. So I'll take it back here. This one can come off. And dead, dead, dead. This whole center appears to be dead. All right, the tree's planted, and now it's time for a late lunch. Then we'll get the other tree trimmed up and see if we can hang that swing. But first, lunch.
When I turned 21 in prison, doing life without the road, no one could steer me right. Mama tried to raise me better, but I pleaded I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Come to my rescue. Oh, come here to me. Take me and keep me away from the sea of heartbreak.
Bartlett pole clips / pole pruners, professional, fiberglass, non-conductive, stackable, 5-foot sections, total of 10 feet at my disposal. Very underrated and underappreciated Echo power equipment, which I intend not to use today. I'd like to perform the arboriculture in the purest form today and use only hand tools, but it's there with the tank of gas if I need it. If I use a rope because I want to practice pure early arboriculture, I'll use the twisted rope, although I don't think I'm going to have to tie into the tree. And Old Faithful, I've spent thousands of hours wearing this guy. How the hell did that get in there? This is my old sandal here, and you can see it's old. But anyway, that's what I'll use the lanyard and tie into the tree with. So I think we're ready to go. Oh yeah, after I prune the tree, it's my intention to install this rope swing. Mrs. Sierra Foothills, and by extension myself, have a dear friend, Eileen. She's one of the most thoughtful people you'll ever meet. And she saw this and thought of us, so she sent this. And so we will complete the pruning of the boulder oak tree, and we'll hang the swing on Arbor Day. That's a boulder, and this is the oak, and that's where the two meet. So I'm actually standing in the boulder oak without so much as a handhold. I'm not tied in, I'm not holding on to anything except for my camera. And yeah, this tree has a lot of very strong horizontal limbs. So it should be an easy climb, and that's why I'm not going to wear, it's one of several reasons that I'm not going to wear my climbing spikes / spurs. All right, let's get to the top and tie in. We'll work our way down. One of the main objectives is to remove deadwood, as I explained in earlier tree climbing videos. Deadwood is an entry port for diseases and pests in trees. And also we're trying to get rid of as much of this as we can. This is mistletoe. It's kind of like watching the movie Predator. Sometimes it's really hard to spot this out in the crown of a tree. If you go all the way to the top of a tree, you don't want to miss it, but you can see what an oak leaf looks like, and then you can see what the mistletoe leaf looks like. One of the telltale signs that can help you distinguish it from a silhouette is this swelling of the stem here. You know, I have to say that having taken Psych 101 can be a real burden sometimes. But anyway, yeah, the swelling of the stem here, and so that will sometimes enable you to identify it when it's otherwise very hard to see. Goodbye. Video really can't capture what a beautiful tree this is. And I've been in it, according to the video timestamp of the scene before this one, I've been in this tree for about 3 hours, climbing and cutting. But it's a beautiful tree, and I'm actually, when I take the time to relax, sit back and rest a bit, I really am enjoying the experience. It's kind of like how tree climbing was when you were a kid. You were just climbing for fun. And so yeah, it's a beautiful day, and ultimately happy to be up here taking care of this beautiful tree, improving my tree karma. And believe me, I've got the sap of thousands of trees on my hands. I've got a lot of tree karma to improve on. Well, I knew it'd be a fist fight, and it was. I enjoyed it. It was very real. But it was a fist fight. So, good thing I'm not, I don't get faint at the sight of blood, because had that been the case, I might have ended up dying in this tree, which would have been fitting in a way. I've killed so many trees. Just following orders. But at any rate, yeah, I'm done. I'm about to climb out of the tree. We'll stack the brush, and really not sure. Maybe we'll save the swing for tomorrow, because it's getting late here and I'm pretty tired. Cleaning up. My wife is going to be thrilled with this discovery. I was picking up some of the brush, and I came over here and I said, geez, this looks just like a currant plant, like the ones we bought at the nursery last year and planted in the garden. And I looked closer, and lo and behold, this is a native wild currant plant, and it appears to have a real nice bumper crop of fruit. So I don't know, that's pretty awesome. Got a little currant patch over here. Oh, we have a nice little group of Western buttercup here. California buttercup. I won't put it up to my chin because I'm a little disheveled at the moment, but I can assure you I do love butter, and I love buttercups too. Well, everything got done. Almost running out of daylight here. This is all mistletoe that came out of the tree. These are 3 large clumps of mistletoe that we took out. all the rakings are on this tarp. And this is one of 2 loads of brush. The second that I'll take to a burn pile. And we've loaded up the ladder and we got the swing installed. So everything that we set out to do for Arbor Day has been completed. Well, we had a wonderful Arbor Day here at Sierra Foothills. It was busy and a lot of work, but we got everything done that we wanted to. We planted the 2 lemon trees and we had a dedication for them. We were able to get all the dead wood and weak growth out of the boulder oak here, a real favorite tree of ours. And the cherry on top was being able to hang the swing that our friend Eileen gave us as a beautiful gift, thoughtful gift, typical Eileen. So Eileen, thank you very much. It was an honor putting the swing up on Arbor Day, and particularly came just a few days after your birthday, so happy birthday, Eileen. We love you. So anyway, that's about it for today, and I hope you enjoyed your visit, and hopefully we'll see you again real soon. You take care. Bye-bye.